Aloha, Hugh O'Reilly with Berkshire Hathaway, and this is my March 2020 video. Today I've asked Chris Geng of Maui Resort Realty and Maui Resort Rentals to join me because he and I have worked together, God, for years. and I think he's one of the best in the business when it comes to the rentals. He has an extremely long background in customer service in the hospitality industry and has built a very successful business. What I want to cover today is sort of really take us through the history of 2019. Everything seemed great. 2020 hit. We fell off a cliff. There's a recovery happening. And the focus of this will be on the recovery because, people are anxious to know, is now the time to get back into real estate? So Chris, maybe very briefly talk about where you were at the fall, and then we'll ask some questions about the recovery.
Yeah, well, 2019 definitely was the high water mark for vacation rental over the last decade. And that's about how long we've been in business. So we kind of have a fairly good handle on the market and the trends. And it was all lining up beautifully for 2020. One of the biggest projects on Maui that Hugh was a part of was the Luana Garden Villas, and we had a big imprint on that project as far as the vacation rental side. With 72 units, we had close to 30 of them under management, and they were all going to be born in 2020. But then the pandemic hit in March, which that term unprecedented is so overused, but it is so absolutely applicable and relevant because Hawaii turned off essentially for almost 8 months. And naturally that was an unsettling time being in our business. But I was always hopeful that a return to normalcy would commence in Hawaii. It did in October, and really it was very unpredictable even then on how, what type of vacationer would return.
Yeah. So what are your guests saying when they're booking? What's their excitement? What's driving them to come here versus, we'll just go to California or we'll go somewhere else? What is it particularly you think?
Yeah, well, so just real quick, this return of visitors is the language that they use here in Hawaii. The forecasters, the economists, were forecasting 2021 at, best case scenario, 50% of 2019 occupancy. And these guys are experts, I suppose, I thought. And we quickly realized that thankfully that was not going to be the case. And, we're trending for 2021 to be at maybe 125% of revenue from 2019, which is shocking, really. But there's been a unexpected demand level that I could never have forecasted, that I think resides in the human condition to want to connect with those we love most. And what better place to do that in Maui? And validation of that is just the incredible rates that we're seeing for the remainder of this year and the incredible demand. So yeah, it's been a real prodigal son returns in the form of vacation rental demand, and just so pleased that is the case. And we're seeing this stretch into not just 2021, but into 2022 demand as well.
All right. And I think that, so parlaying that, it's fair to say that the people that hung in their investments, they're going to be, because they had to weather the 8 months. But the investment is proving true. This is funny because we went through this in 2008 with Honua Kai. They had the crash, and then it came back to be one of the most successful properties. You're seeing that again. I know you work mostly in the high end, but is it strictly a Honua Kai, or are you seeing it in some of your other properties, the Alihi, the Whaler? Are they still?
Yeah, I hate to put it. It seems to be the case that higher end is more resilient, and that happens to be the market we serve. So I'm just very grateful for that. You know,
But there should be
we
some drag helping everyone to come up is what I expect. Is that is that
I
fair
would
statement?
presume that over time, the more modest will follow suit, as this, I guess the mass vaccination has something to do with people's comfort level.
Great.
But to this point, yeah, we're running upper 90 percentile occupancy right now, and we don't see that changing. I mean, we're forecasting 90% plus during our off season, which is the fall,
Okay,
which is
unheard of.
again hard on.
And in real estate, we both see it because we're out there talking to the people. So I know that as in the property management, you speak to more people on that side of it, guests checking in. But when we talk to people in real estate, the inventory is extremely low. People are getting close to asking, if not exceeding asking. The recovery and the value, which I think people thought there'd be a big, drop in value. It just held steady, and now it's on the recovery because there's no place like Hawaii and Maui in particular. If you want tropical, your options are usually in a third world country where people aren't going to feel safe. So I think we're benefiting from the great job Hawaii did in dealing with the pandemic, but being unique and the planet being part of the United States.
Yeah, there's no doubt there's probably several prongs to why we're doing so well. Part of it is how they handled, being very aggressive on preserving, the local population from, a very scary potentiality. And, I think we are benefiting from the fact that this is the most exotic, safe place on the planet.
Okay.
That's how people are interpreting it. It gets very complicated if you want to go outside of the United States as a U.S. resident, which is the vast majority, of our, our demographic that's renting. On the real estate side of things, as you know, there is some corollary here. There's no doubt about it. It parallels the demand for vacation rental is paralleled by the demand for the real estate. And, our focus isn't as broad necessarily as yours, Hugh. We focus on that Honua Kai and 31 listings right now. 23 are pending.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've never seen that. Like this is, so it's just been this complete, we got upended the entire market about a year ago, and now it's upending in the reverse. And yeah, I'm just very grateful that that's the case.
Well, listen, Chris, thank you. That is, I try and keep my videos short. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Looks like it's a beautiful day there in Southern California. Enjoy it. We'll see you back on Maui. And thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Mahalo. My pleasure. Aloha,
okay.
Hugh.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.